Okay, my hair looks fine.
Does Thea's favorite reporter's hair look good? Yeah.
Does she approve?
Do all the Theas just like
all the Theas out there with good credit?
Oh.
Trying to get a new couch.
Oh, just the couch? Sir, we're going to need a lot more than that.
Sectional.
A sectional.
A detachable one.
Sectional.
Sectional.
Sectional. Okay.
If you say it with a lisp.
Right.
A sectional.
It's not offensive at all.
That's right. It's a speech impediment. Leave me alone.
Okay.
All right. Ready?
No. Okay, now I'm ready. Okay. This is Nina, your host of Candid and Curious, and we are back for season 2. We're so excited. Season 1 was great, and I am back here at the amazing and fantastic Gemini's Productions with my producer, and for season 2, my co-host Chibbi.
And Chib Hears. Welcome. Without technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties.
So excited for season 2. So excited for our lineup of guests and to be here. It's a pleasure.
It's always a pleasure.
Just talking to you.
Well, I love talking to you, which is why, like in season 1, I was like, I really just want to hear more from Chibbi, and so
that's right.
We decided.
You know what? Never mind our guest. Actually, no. Our guest is the cherry on the ice, on the cake, on the ice cream. On the ice cream. We'll do that.
Cherry on the ice cream?
Cherry on the sundae, at the top of the sundae. It just makes this conversation banana split even tastier.
Oh, my goodness.
I went there with the metaphor. I'm sorry.
You did. That's okay. Well, our guest today is someone I've admired for a very long time, not just for the work he does, but for the way he shows up for his community. He's an Emmy Award-winning journalist, a masterful storyteller, and someone who uses his voice and his lens to spotlight people and places that don't always get the attention they deserve. He's proud of where he comes from, San Antonio's very own West Side, and you can feel that pride in every story he tells. Whether he's reporting on the street or mentoring youth with a camera in hand, he's leading with heart and reminding us that everyone has a story worth telling. You may also know him as your Thea's favorite reporter.
Oh,
yeah.
And I think by the end of this conversation, you'll understand exactly why. Jose, welcome to the show.
What's up? What's going on? Just had a bunch of fruit and cheese from this charcuterie board.
Yeah.
Charcuterie board.
Hey, I like to treat my guests. We love to have y'all eat and snack and all the deliciousness.
I've been on so many podcasts. The best thing I've ever received was bottled water. So
okay.
I'm spoiled right now.
So this is now your favorite podcast.
That's right.
Without a doubt.
That's it. That's on vinyl.
That's on.
We said it. Isn't that the way that Thea's pronounce it? Charcuterie? The charcuterie board.
The charcuterie board, mijo.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. For the longest time, I had the hardest time saying that word. It'd be like what?
I'm like, I'll just be like, the adult Lunchables.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what they are. That's what they are. Yes. Awesome. Well, I am super excited to have you here. I've been wanting to have you on the show, and I'm a huge fan of your work. And what you do for the community is so, so important. So I kind of wanted to just start from the beginning because you have a really interesting origin story because you've been a reporter for how long? A journalist? Sorry.
I always go back to because when people ask me that, they ask me how long you've been a professional reporter.
Right.
But I'm like, I feel like when you start, you become one. Even when you know nothing. So I take it back 15 years when I took a journalism class in high school because the seed was planted when I was 13. Hey, you should try this. And that's when the journey started when I was 15. When, mother passes away, I go to a new school. They so happen to have a great journalism program. And so I've never looked back, never second-guessed it, never changed my major, none of that. It was always the goal. So for TV, for who I work for, 6 years. But I would say 15 years I've been working, at it. Whether it's at high school level, community college level. it was always something that I was doing, and yeah, haven't fallen out of love with it. I don't think I ever will,
Yeah.
but yeah.
I was going to ask, were you the community sleuth, right? You just out there like taking notes in the corners, figuring out what stories need to be told?
Well, it was just crazy. Like there was these. It started out, I feel like when I transferred to a university and I had more freedom, which is you think it'd be the opposite. You think community college. No, SAC's program is incredible, or was at the time, the Ranger newspaper, and it produced so many great reporters, and they were really, it was, to me, it was like boot camp. Like they throw you in the deep end, and hey, go chase this story. Hey, go do this, and then they critique you really hard too. So I feel like that's where, right when I transferred from community college to university, that's where I started to do more, because I always loved sports. I always wanted to be a sports reporter.
Mm-hmm.
But when I started spending more time in the community that I grew up in, that's where I started to realize, like, man, how come no one's telling this story? How come no one's telling that story?
Right.
Thankfully, my mentor was Vincent Davis, who's still at the Express News, but he always encouraged me to do those stories, and he would share them with his audience, and which gave me a bunch of confidence. And I'll never forget the day I was about 21. Yeah, it had to have been 2016. I started this blog, and I would just write stories on different people. And I'll never forget, he shared a story, and he said, "You found your voice, young man. Keep that stride." And I was like, wow, like it gave me so much confidence.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I was doing poetry too, right? Which was like a, different style of storytelling. And that gave me confidence doing it at Barrio or Blah or I forgot what other, I don't think I ever did. To this day, I've never done Poodle Slam. It's too brutal for me.
We got to get you out there.
My feelings will get hurt.
They will.
Oh my God.
It's the truth.
Yeah,
people are brutal.
You're out, sharing your trauma with the world, and 4.6. What the hell?
Oh, wow.
Like, damn.
They're like, sorry, not good enough.
Can't even get a 5.
Yeah. Or they car wash clap you off the stage.
Wow.
That can happen too.
That's awful.
But yeah, I mean, that's where, I mean, it was always like that. And then learning from my mom. My mom was always a good listener. People would always vent to her, and I think she taught me the art of like loaning someone your ear. Yeah. Sorry if I didn't answer your question.
No, you totally
no,
did.
you totally answered it. So you had mentioned when you and I were talking that your uncle, because your mom passed away.
Yeah.
And that you said changed your whole world. And so your uncle played a really influential part in introducing you or encouraging you to be a journalist.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite stories to tell. So when I was 13, my mom was sick. So we moved with my aunt and uncle for a year. We left the West Side for a year, and she got back up on her feet, literally and figuratively, because she got one of her foot amputated. Because come to find out, she was diabetic and all these other things. And so my uncle, everything was a life lesson. I always compare it to the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So my uncle is my mom's brother-in-law. Same thing like Will Smith. Uncle Phil is his mom's brother-in-law, right? And he was the uncle that, that was not hard on me, but he just taught me these lessons that I didn't necessarily learn with my dad. Because my dad, I mean, he's very old school, from Mexico. For him, he's just like, I work, and that's my way of being your parent, which is like, no. You got to be involved in my life, right?
Maybe just a little bit.
Just a little bit, right? And so my dad had that mindset of being a provider. That's it. And so my uncle, he tried to teach me those little things. Like I'll never forget one of the first lessons. I even wrote about this in a story that thankfully I got to read to him before he passed. But it was basically when I moved in with him, my cousin was throwing some like fight night party, right? And he invited all his friends, and my aunt and uncle would put the party together pretty much, right? Like all he did was, hey, buddies, come on over. My tia was making food for everybody.
Nice.
And my tia was like, hey, put these sodas in this ice chest for me. Sure, whatever. I just, right, went back upstairs, went to go watch TV. He calmed me down. He says, what the fuck is this? I was like, what do you mean? Like, and I'm like, why is he cursing at me?
Right.
He's like, if I asked you to do something, do it right. He's like, you just threw everything in there, like, didn't like try to even make it look neat or whatever. And in my head, I'm like, people are just I don't think anyone's gonna open the ice chest and be like, oh man, look at the way that soda's laying in there. But But it was just those little things, right?
Mhm.
You know, encourage, like always tell me, do your homework.
Mm.
And it's gonna get done when it gets done, right?
Right.
Right. So he was the first person to ever ground me. I don't even know what the hell that meant. I was like, grounded. I was like, I
I'm
thought
like,
only
what
white
is
people
that?
got grounded. What the hell?
Dang.
This is wild. I thought only you know, TV sitcom kids got grounded, and
Yeah.
so it was those little things. And he'd talk about life. He'd be like, hey, what do you want to do, you know, as a profession? And so there's one day where my tia is looking for furniture, and we're in his car, and we're just in the parking lot, and she's like shopping for like a new couch or something. He just asked me, he's like, what do you want to do with your life? I don't know, dude. I'm 13 years old. I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow.
Right.
And so what do you like to do at school? I was like, well, I love to write. You know, I'm always, since like third grade, I would write like 3-4 page essays, like nothing. And it was always like really good writing for a kid, right?
Mhm.
Mhm.
And so at that time, I mean, I still love sports, but I was like obsessed. Like I name any sport, I could give you a stat. It was ridiculous at the time. And he says, well, why don't you combine that passion with sports and be a sports journalist? And I'm like, what the fuck's a journalist?
Right.
I'm a little Chicano from the West Side. I'm like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I'm sorry, mijo. Uh, a sports reporter, like TV, you know, or sports reporter in general, right? And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, how do you do that? And he gave me the how to be a sports reporter for dummies, you know.
The 101.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you do this. You go to college. You do an internship. You work a job you don't want to help you get the job you do want.
Right.
And you know
That part.
You know, and so I was like, oh, okay. And we moved back to the West Side with my mom gets back on her feet. We moved back to the West Side. Things are fine. I'm at Burbank my freshman year. Supposed to go to Lanier, but school closures forced me that way.
Mm-hmm.
And that summer of 2010, she had a stroke, became a vegetable, and we pulled the plug. Like, happened in the span of like 5-6 days.
Oh, wow.
So that Sunday she has the stroke. I find her. She goes to the hospital. She's a vegetable by Monday. By Wednesday, we decide to pull the plug because that's what she wanted. She always.
Mm-hmm.
The good thing about these difficult conversations with my mom and my dad, my Theo, was they talked about the realities. My Theo always told me, and that was the one thing that he always told me. He says, "Mijo, we're not going to be here forever.
Right.
So when your mom, if your mom were to pass, or your dad, or us, you know, you're gonna have to rely on yourself, right?" And so, so when she passed, moving with my sister, end up at Lee High School, which had one of the best journalism programs in the state and the country, and that's where everything started with journalism. Year passes, end up with my dad. I'm at Roosevelt High School at this point, my junior year. Senior year, I end up moving back in with my aunt and uncle. And at this point, my uncle lost all of his fortune that he had, because when I lived with him the first time, he was Uncle Phil. Like, he had
He was
crazy.
balling. Yeah.
He was balling. He had money, right? But when the housing market crashed, he lost everything pretty much, right?
Wow.
And so when I moved in with him and my tia's not working because they had to tap into her retirement after my uncle had died, or not after he died, after he lost everything. So she went into early retirement. They're kind of trying to living off of that, off of whatever he had. They bought this house in Alamo Heights, and he was a cab driver. And so literally, like, being poor, you know, or I mean, I was poor, but even them, they were struggling. I mean, I would say we were poor compared to the whole, the affluent neighborhood that you're in.
Right.
And I'm taking the bus everywhere. Take 3 buses to get to SAC. Take bus to get to work. Sometimes I would have to walk to work. Like, I remember our house was right in the heart of like this neighborhood, and there was no bus that could take me to Austin Highway when I worked at Ross, so I'd have to walk through this
Yeah.
neighborhood. But it was like a wake up call. It was like one of those, like, you know, people show you what you don't have every day,
Mm-hmm.
right? You know, and not necessarily like you money. That's part of it, but part of it's like, wow, like, that's a married family. Wow, their kid's gonna have a car at 16. Like,
Right.
this is what security looks like. I don't even know what this looks like. And so, but when my uncle took me in the second time, you know, my dad and I had a falling out, and he took me in and he taught me how to drive. He taught me how to do taxes. He uh, just taught me how to be a man, basically, right? A productive adult. And there's a lot of things I disagreed with him on, and like he tried to force me to go to the military. I was like, not force me. He would
No.
always,
Yeah.
Nico, go. Like they'll pay for the college. I was like,
Strongly encouraged.
strongly encouraged, right? And it was constant. And there's one day where I just told him, I was like, hey, I need you to stop
Right.
encouraging me to do that. That's not my journey.
Mhm.
And he respected it, and he accepted it, right? I think more than anything. And so, but yeah, I mean, living with them, I was them for most of my collegiate tenure from SAC
Mhm.
to A&M San Antonio, and then they sold their home, they moved. I ended up living with my sister, graduate, become a freelancer for Express News. But I did a bunch of internships in the meantime. Like I was at La Prensa when it was the
Oh,
OG
yeah.
the OG La Prensa with the Duran family, and then from there I interned with Follow Media, which is the Chibbi Family Foundation's
Mhm.
news outlet that existed for only that year, and we produced a lot of great work. And I think that's around the time when I'm 2021 where I'm falling in love with community news. I'm
Mhm.
covering the Spurs as an intern for Spectrum. I'm in the locker room with the players. I'm on the floor. It's great. But while I'm in college at A&M San Antonio, I'm doing community stories. I mean, you got to think 2017. This is when 45 took office, right?
Mhm.
And you're seeing a response from the community. You're seeing people take the streets. And I've seen people protest prior to that, right? Prior to that year. But at that level, that people who, a lot of young people who never cared about politics, who
Mhm.
never cared about anything, finally cared about something, right? That they understood, like, hey, there's policies that are going to affect me and my family and or people that I know. And so that was an interesting year, and I was like, I got to cover this, right? And so I was doing those stories, um, stories on random people in the community on the west side, the handballers, these guys that were once incarcerated, play handball. I've seen those guys since I was like 4 or 5 years old, across the street from my grandma's house. Interviewed these guys, and they welcomed me, right? I told them who my family was. Oh, my grandma, that's her house. Oh, so and so's your uncle. Like I served time. We were both incarcerated together, right? They're like, oh man, that's so cool, mijo, that you're a journalist, right? And so did a bunch of stories with them. I won a bunch of awards because of it, and it was cool. It was so fulfilling, right? Versus like, Manu Ginobili scored 25 points last night against the Memphis Grizzlies. It's like, I'm sorry, I love Ginobili, love the Spurs, but
Right.
who gives a shit,
Yeah.
right? Because this is how I put it, right? Because a lot of people are like, why did you give up sports? I was like, well, I wasn't necessarily giving up. I just thought something was more important
Mhm.
Right.
that needed to be covered. I mean, in all these stories, I mean, years later, I mean, covering COVID, covering all these things, right?
Mhm.
And so, I tell them, I was like, think about it this way: if I don't cover the Spurs, it ain't the end of the world. They're
Right.
still gonna be millionaires. People are still gonna go see them play.
Right.
They're gonna be fine. But if I don't cover that important story that's going on in our public schools, and public housing or in our community, right? That's detrimental to our community,
Mhm.
Mhm.
and that could have a lasting effect. Versus, I'm not covering a basketball game,
Yeah.
really. And it's weird, right? Because people see my handle's still sports guy, and people are like,
Yeah.
they get confused. They're like, sports guy. Talking about are you covering social issues and policy and immigration? What the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, for me, it's just that's what I fell in love with, and I saw how important it is. And to this day, it's the most important thing. I always tell people, I'm like, yes, pay attention to what's going on nationally, but look what's going on at the municipal level. Look what's going on at the county level. Like, these are the people that affect your lives every day.
Mhm.
Right.
We're gonna have a special session, or whenever this post, a special session happened.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
Right, a special session happened, and it's discussing the city council consideration request process, which is how things get done, right?
Mhm.
We go to our elected officials, our council people. Hey, we need this over here. We need, like, for example, dangerous dog ordinance, right?
Yeah, that's
You know,
right. You've covered a lot of stories on that.
that was important because people were killed.
Right.
People, this guy, Max, pobrecito, man, him and his wife were planning to go to Italy in October of 2023. His neighbor's dogs attack him. It's a pit bull and a German shepherd, I believe, attack him, and just it was brutal. I don't even want to go into detail,
Right.
but those attacks led to him getting both his legs amputated.
Wow.
and his life, I mean, I wouldn't want to say it's ruined, but it's been impacted
Mhm.
severely, that him and his wife have to figure that out, right? And this is a nice couple that's supposed to enjoy their retirement, enjoy
Yeah.
life, and because we weren't harsh on these terrible dog owners, where a lot of lives are ruined, and
Mhm.
so but going back to like city council, that gets passed, it gets put through committees, then it makes it to the dais, then council votes on it. Now our current mayor is trying to change that process, and some people agree with it, some people don't,
Sure.
and so, but it's interesting, right? And I always tell people, I'm like, these are the things that you need to be involved in. I was like, I get it, like what's going on at the national level, but man, like our council and our county commissioners, those are the people that you really need to be paying attention to, because
Yeah.
you wonder why your lights not, so your street lights are still not working. Well,
Yeah.
Right.
could call your elected officials.
Right.
Like, I always tell people, I'm like, hey, that they're here to serve you, right?
Yeah.
And you can bother them whenever you want,
Yeah.
and it's not even bothering them. It's them having to do their job. And so it's just those things that I've fallen in love with, right? I never thought I'd be covering politics, right? Or anything along those lines. But I mean, these are the things that affect my people, right? I'm born and raised here in San Antonio. So when I see something's affecting our people, I can't just ignore it, right?
Yeah.
I can't be like, oh, well, sorry, I'm a sports reporter, I'm gonna go do this, right?
Right. Yeah.
No, for me, it's just like, well, if I have an opportunity to do something, I need to do it, And so, and that's the thing that I learned from family. My mom she was cabrona, man. She would fight dudes, man. I'm like, yeah, my mom's crazy. I'm like, oh my gosh, And so, and then she comes from my grandma, my mom's one of 12. My grandma was this hardcore activist. There's a street named after her on the west side, Guadalupe Ibarra.
Mhm.
And her nickname was Abogada Sin Papeles.
Hey!
Yeah, the attorney without the papers.
Dang. That's awesome.
And so, and it's cool too, because I'm friends with all the OGs that she either mentored or she, was fighting alongside with.
Yeah.
And they meet me and they don't know that I'm her grandson, right? And she got, I would say, I don't know, over 70 grandchildren from her.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy. So,
It's a lot of grandchildren.
yeah, when I meet all these activists, because I MC the Cesar Chavez March every year, they're like, oh, you're Guadalupe's grandson? I was like, yeah. I was like, I actually lived with her until she passed. And so it was crazy. Like, I found the woman she was the councilwoman who fought for my grandma to get the street named after her. I knew why she got the street. I never knew how it happened. And one day I'm at the Chavez March and I'm interviewing people. And this is before I was the MC. And so I interviewed this lady. I was like, oh, this lady looks interesting. Turns out she was the one that fought for my grandma to get the street named after her. I was like, wait, you're Lourdes Galvan? She's like, yes. I was like, you're the last person my grandma voted for before she died. She's like, oh, wow. And I was like, yeah, I remember, like, literally when she passed, we still had your sign on her fence.
Wow.
Oh,
you
wow. Yeah.
Because my grandma's that type of person. Hey, you need to go vote, mijo. And I'm like, Grandma, I'm like 12. Yeah, but if you were to vote, who would you vote for, right?
Right.
And like,
It's the pretend vote.
yeah, I was like, okay, Grandma. But it was funny too. My teachers thought I was so smart in grade school because I was like, yeah, so and so's the councilman and so and so's the county commissioner. And they're like, how do you know this? I was like, my grandma.
Yeah.
Grandma.
Because we'd have all these people in our living room,
Yeah.
like candidates sitting like that, pleading to
Yeah.
her. Because if you got her vote, you basically got the neighborhood's vote.
Mhm.
Wow.
Crazy. Yeah.
So I did want to know, because you shared a lot about your journey, and a lot of that comes with your family and your neighborhood and the people around you, right? And if there's anything that I've learned since coming to San Antonio about people from the West Side, is that it is very much like it takes a village kind of deal,
Yeah.
right? And in your story, the way you describe it, right? It was your mom, it was your grandma, it was your tias, it was your uncle, it was
Yeah.
like all of these people that helped raise you, right?
Yeah.
And again, coming from the West Side, like you're playing outside, your neighbors, like all of
Right.
that stuff, right? So
Yeah.
that sense of community is pretty strong growing up. You
Oh,
feel
yeah.
like that kind of influenced where you are now?
Oh yeah, for sure. Because I always tell people, even the people that folks would deem as, oh, this is a bad person, right? Even the gangsters in my hood that I wanted to be that, right? Because they had cool clothes, they had money all the time, right? I mean, you're a young boy,
Right.
you're like, oh wow, like I want to be that. One thing my mom always said is, I ever find out you're in the streets,
Mm.
like I'm gonna whoop your ass.
Mm.
And I'm like, oh, okay. but sometimes you're just like, nah, whatever, right? And we'd walk, to like go play basketball or somewhere, and we'd see these dudes posted up, right? And they had a level of respect for my mom that they would tell me, hey, if you ever try to be a part of this life, we're gonna kick your ass. Then we're gonna tell your mom, she's gonna kick your ass.
Wow.
And I was like, man, like, okay. But to me, it was just like that wake up call. Like, you don't have to be a part of this, right?
Right.
Like, us that are here, we may have not had an option, right? This is like the only thing that we as youngsters could do, right? But you have an opportunity to do something, right? And so I always respected that about just the OGs in the hood, because they saw something in me too,
Yeah.
I guess. And so that was a part of the community, right? My coaches, who literally, like, both of them went to my mom's funeral. Never forgot that. They would pick me up when I lived by Malibu Castle, take me to the west side, or take me to a basketball tournament. And they could have easily, oh, me, well, that's too out of the way. But they saw like how devastating losing my mom was.
Yeah.
And so it was cool. I mean, like you said, Chibbi, it's just like that sense of community. It was definitely felt like you did something on one street, and someone's on the porch. Oh, okay, that's so and so's little boy. All right. By the time I got home,
Right.
so what were you doing earlier? And it was a test because they already knew. My mom already knew what I did, or my grandma. And I was like, oh crap, you couldn't even lie.
Yeah.
I was like, this is both. I was like, Tias are the original smartphones. Like,
Your first exposure to investigative journalism.
no, for
Right.
real,
Or the
man.
Tias.
No, I always joke, right? I mean, and people, like, my brand is, I'm your Tias favorite reporter.
Yeah.
But man, Tias are the best reporters out
Yeah.
there.
They sure are.
Amigo, I was looking at the agenda for council or agenda for the school board. You should look into it. Just saying.
And you're like, okay, thanks for the tip.
Like, literally, it's the funniest
Right.
like news tips, because it's like they do it in the most Tia way possible.
They're your CIs.
For real, man.
That's
and,
awesome.
and 99% of the time they're right. Like,
Yeah.
they're never wrong. And if it is, it's because it was like someone gave them bad information. But other than that, it's always accurate. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
So I want
You gotta
to
listen.
I want
Yeah.
to ask you this question, just because we're on the subject of Tias and investigative journalisms, and this is what you do. What do you think about La Gordi Loca?
La Gordi Loca.
Do you not know La Gordi
Who's
Loca?
that?
She's from Laredo, but because
Oh my God. So I
Wait,
don't.
who is that? I don't know who that is.
So it's literally like someone's tia
Yeah.
on a smartphone, and just goes out in Laredo and reports, and La Gordi Loca live here from the corner of McPherson and Delmar, and there's a crash, and like reports
Yeah.
on what's going on in the streets in the city. But she's gotten in trouble
For doing
for
it.
like invasion of privacy or things like that. And it's
People
like,
do
well,
that here too. Like,
like,
there's-
is this journalism? Are you reporting, or are you just someone with a smartphone on Facebook Live?
It could be that.
I think it's the latter for sure. I feel like a lot of people, and it's gotten me upset. And I've had conversations with my coworkers because he likes to play devil's advocate, right, with me. He's like, aren't we doing the same thing? We just get paid for it, right? And I'm like, yeah, but there's ethics behind what we do.
Right.
Like, we have to be objective. Like, there's all these things that we have to follow. Someone with a smartphone, they don't have to follow anything.
Right.
And sometimes they're not held accountable, right?
Mhm.
And so I see a bunch of things happening where someone records, and it could be irresponsible too, because they'll record something, and what if there's a body there,
Right.
and someone's family member sees that? You
Yeah.
know? Like that crash on
The motorcycle crash.
the motorcycle crash.
Yeah.
People shared that like
They did.
crazy. I mean, people love that stuff. It's disgusting. Like, there was even somebody,
Yeah.
and I just saw a photo of it. It was a tow truck driver, like a roadside assistance in the valley. Someone hit him, and for those of you listening, it's about to get real graphic for a quick second. I guess he hit the corner of the back of his tow truck. He got sliced in half.
Oh my
So
God.
there's a photo of this guy, and people are sharing it. I'm like,
Right.
why are you doing that? Like, what do you gain from that?
Right.
But I think it's this social media. It's this algorithm of, like, people just want gory stuff.
it's clickbait.
It's clickbait.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
clickbait at its finest, and I just hate it because it's
Yeah.
just people like are now listening to scanners and they want to show up to things,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and it's just like, dude, like one of these days someone's gonna think they could be in the wrong place at the right time, and
Right.
you
Mhm.
know, I mean, I don't know. I just tell people be careful. Like you're not the news at the end of the day, and like what you're doing, if you think it's helpful, it's probably not.
It's probably
Yeah.
not. And I did want to, because you and I talked about it briefly when we spoke on the phone, but it's like I was talking to you about clickbait, and
Yeah.
and we're not even talking just influencers or people on the street with a smartphone. I've seen, like news outlets
Oh yeah.
doing this, and we had a brief conversation about it. But what I enjoy so much about your journalism is they are well crafted stories, and they're relevant and they stand the test of time. You can go back to a story, 2 or 3 years ago,
Yeah.
and still pull from it that's relevant information. And so, what do you think the responsibility of a journalist is? Because, we have what you do, the full story, you're very respectful of the community. And then we have like even news outlets that are doing clickbait. Like what is your take on that?
I get why some of the outlets do it. I mean, we're an industry that's, I don't know. There's a lot of places that are struggling and they're trying to generate traffic, whatever. Thankfully, we don't have to do that where I'm at. We own ourselves. But
Right.
um, I don't know. It's just like I always go back to like being in Uvalde, and one of the first things telling my bosses, I was like, you think I'm gonna stick a microphone in someone's face or try to interview somebody who hasn't even buried their child? Like
All right.
that's not gonna happen. I was like, if we're planning to be in this community, this is gonna be pretty much a lifelong commitment for as long as I'm gonna be here. I mean, anywhere I go, I'll be devoted to Uvalde and the families there. But I told them, I was like, we're not gonna do any of that, and it worked out. I always told them, I was like, let's play like we're in here for the long haul.
Mm-hmm.
Let's let things come to us, right? We'll
Mhm.
still report on things, on what's going on, right? I was like, but trust me, people are gonna come out because what happened over there I mean, it's heartbreaking. It's
Tragic.
I'll never forget hearing that. It took 77 minutes for them to confront the shooter
Yeah.
and the
That's a
door.
long time.
Long time. Even if it was like 20 minutes, that would have been forever for the amount
Yeah.
of law enforcement that was there,
Mhm.
and the fact that the door, according to the Department of Justice, more than likely it was not even locked to begin with.
Mm.
Which I don't think it was locked at all.
Yeah.
Like you think the guy had time to,
Right.
let me go find a key, let me go lock, and
That was Ted Cruz's whole argument. It's like, it's not the guns, it's the fact that the doors weren't locked. That was the
Right.
problem. It's like,
Of
shut
course. Yeah. Jesus.
and so to be with those families and I've been at uh, uh, the legislative sessions, with them, and I was with them that day where they were there from 7 a.m. to 1 a.m.
Dang.
They didn't start testifying. They went onto a recess, and I'm assuming it was because they wanted them to, oh, maybe they'll leave.
up. Mm-hmm.
They stuck around. Everybody did.
Yeah.
And we were in this one room, and there was like pizza and food there, and everyone's just hanging out, playing cards, and they didn't reconvene till like 10 p.m. that night. And you had these heartbreaking testimonies, and these are people that we've built relationships with, and it was all organic. And I always get feedback from them saying like, hey, like, we'll never forget that we always saw you around, but you never pressured us for an interview.
That's
Mhm.
right.
They're like, other people camped out in our alleys,
Mm-hmm.
knocking on our doors, and it's like, I get it, but it's just like, I don't know. I don't think I could ever be that type of reporter where,
Yeah.
It's
like,
not.
unless someone comes to me, like,
Sure.
you
And
know,
they're asked.
and I see them willing to talk, I'm not gonna pressure somebody
No.
just because it's just like, what good does it do?
Mhm.
Because you're not gonna get someone who's really like coherent because they're emotionally destroyed,
Mhm.
mentally drained. It's like, why would I want to interview someone in that condition? Like, they need to take care of themselves before we can shove a mic in their face. And I've seen it happen all the time. I've gone to Del Rio to cover when there was a big Haitian, like there was like tens and thousands of Haitians coming through, and thankfully they know Spanish, right? And so I was able to communicate with them. But still, there were some just sitting there, right? At this it's this immigration center in Del Rio, and they're just there minding their business, and like literally like a UK reporter is just like,
Right.
and I'm like, oh my god, dude.
Like, come on.
And
Like, where's your heart at that point? Like, where
Yeah.
is your empathy? Like, at the end of the day, we're all human.
Yeah.
And which is why I enjoy your story so much, because you see the human part of our community.
Yeah.
You know?
And I kind of want to ask you about that because, like, you talk about basically being embedded in some of these places, Uvalde, Del Rio, people with housing injustice,
Yeah.
all of that jazz. These are heavy topics that, when you surround right? Like I said, you embed yourself in these stories to like really understand the people that
Yeah.
are in them. How do you not bring that home with you?
Right.
Oh, no, I bring it home. I do.
You're
I
like, it's
do.
there.
It's there.
How do you decompress from something like that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think lately, I've just been watching like TV, and I don't know. It's not even to distract me. It's just to watch other things that get me thinking.
A lot of wrestling.
Yeah, wrestling.
A lot of wrestling.
Wrestling, yeah. But I definitely take it home. Like I take it home not in the sense that it's gonna like I like dump it onto people. I just take it home and I really think about it, and I'll write about it, and then I just even have conversations. Thankfully, I always hang out with my best friend Albert Gonzalez, aka Trebla Art.
Oh yeah, Trebla.
And he's always curious, like, hey, what are you up to? Or what are you working on, right? And we'll go have coffee or whatever, and we'll just talk about the story that I'm working on, or even just with other people. Other people are very curious, like, oh, mijo, what story are you working on? And I'll talk about it, and then they'll want to have like a really good conversation about it, right? And I think just talking it out with people, and then them letting me know, they're like, well, getting that really good reminder, you're doing good work, mijo. Like,
Yeah.
I that's like the best thing. Like even last night, I was at this like John Leguizamo thing that they had at the Carver, and a couple of people came up to me. I didn't know who they were, and they're like, hey, like a really big fan of your stories, right? I love hearing that. When people say I'm a big fan of you, I'm just like, that's weird. But when they say your stories, I'm like, oh, thank you. Like that's my
Right.
like
That's your work.
That's what's gonna be here when I'm dead, right?
Right.
That's what's gonna live on. And so like I take it home, but I talk about it out loud, sometimes to myself, and write about it, listen to music. But it's cool. The beauty though is like everybody, like all the Uvalde families, I'm like their little nephew. They see all the like the silly shit that I do in San Antonio, like the whole Tia's favorite reporter,
Yeah.
and they love it, right? I'll never forget when they were painting Eva Mireles' mural, who was one of the teachers that was killed. I was there, and my friend Monica, her and my buddy Abel Ortiz, who's a art professor in Uvalde, organized the 21 murals, right? And Monica's from Austin. She runs Mas Cultura in Austin, and she's like, "Hey, dude, like you're the only reporter that I trust to be here, because I know that you have a big heart, and you're not gonna." And I was there for 5 hours, and not once did I interview him it wasn't until the end, and some other reporters came, and they like, I guess they got wind of it, and they're like interviewing the daughter, Adeline, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like let the
Right.
family enjoy themselves. Like they were playing Tejano, and I was all jamming out and singing to every song. They're like, who's this guy? They're like, he's a reporter. They're like, are you sure he's a reporter?
He's your
Tia's favorite reporter.
No, so come to find, right? So
Hello.
funny story. A year later, right? I'm close with the family, right? I keep up with them, and Maggie Mireles is the baby of the three sisters. So it's Sandra, Eva, and Maggie, and so I'm interviewing Maggie at her house, and then she texted her niece Adeline, who's the daughter of Eva Mireles, and she's all, my favorite reporter just interviewed me, right? And she told her it was me, right? And then she texted her back, I guess he really is my Tia's favorite reporter. But it's just cool, like to like, and I'll go like when like I ran the Eva 5K last year, and they had the Cáceres family, who their daughter she was one of the kids killed. They had a carnival for her, so it was like Jackie's Carnival. And so it was cool, and and the cool thing about that family is they're related to the Matas, so the Mata Rubio family, right? And unfortunately, they also lost kids in the shooting, and then that shows like how small that town is.
Right. Yeah.
And but to be around them and see the strength that they have, like it really like it makes things easier, right? Because I was telling Nina on the phone, I was like, yeah, there's a lot, like there's the secondhand trauma that you deal with, but these families deal with this loss forever. Like it's there, and then
Right.
they're reminded during holidays, during
Daily.
birthdays,
Mm-hmm.
back to school, the end of the school year.
Right.
A lot of families feel guilty because it was the award ceremony, and they're considering like, oh, let's take Mija or Mijo out so we could go celebrate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some families did, some didn't, and I just hope that they can make time because they've been fighting for years, 3 years already, over 3 years they've been fighting.
It's
For
hard
change.
to believe it's been that long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so for them, I just hope that they can find time to heal because
Right.
it's I don't know, man, it's so sad, and being there with the families does help. Like you go and you feel it, right? You're greeted by this. I don't know why the county or the city, I forget who it was. They have these giant cutouts of like entertainers. So you have Los Palominos, and then you have a big giant Matthew McConaughey. Welcome to your vote, and he's all
That's
there.
So random.
It's scary as hell. Like, what the hell? I don't want Matthew McConaughey
No.
greeting me. But yeah, I definitely do take it home. But I try my best to cope in a healthy way.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. Like for me, I'm such a huge proponent of therapy. So I'm not trying to be mean when I'm like, have you tried therapy? But I mean, just
I have,
because
for
yeah,
sure.
because you take that home, like you can't help it.
Yeah.
I mean, dealing with those heavy subjects all the time.
Yeah. Sometimes I feel like Tony Soprano. What happened to the strong silent type, like
Yeah.
Gary Cooper?
So how many stories would you say you film in a year? Like,
Ooh.
yeah, because you do your own filming. Yes,
Yeah, I film, I edit, I
Yeah.
go live on TV.
you do all the things.
I would say they ask 3 a week, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what, 3 times? And I don't always do 3 a week because there's times where I'll be working on one big story.
Right.
My boss is like, "Hey, just work on that this week." All right, cool. So I would say let's cut that by 1, right? So let's just say I would say at least, or not by 1. I would say at least. I'm bad at math. That's why I'm a reporter. Because there's 52 weeks in a year, right?
Yeah. So 2 a week would be about
So-
104.
Who has a calculator?
Yeah, so 2 weeks. So I would say like
I do
You're-
math.
you're the
I do the
calculator.
mental
so I would
math.
say between
I love
100,
it.
130 and 150, like
Yeah.
around there.
That's incredible, honestly. I mean, how do you, because you're producing so much,
Yeah.
how do you really stay grounded in that purpose when you're just, I mean, you're cranking them out, and I mean, I've seen your work, and the stories are complete, and they're very well done. But how do you stay grounded in that? Because you're cranking out all these stories, like,
I think the good thing is like with my type of schedule, like we have time to work on stories.
yeah,
Because if I was at an affiliate, which is like all the local TV stations,
Mhm.
they do probably 1 a day,
right,
sometimes 2 a day. And the thing is like they're not like, I'm not gonna say all of them, but most of the time they're not doing quality stories. It's
Mhm.
just, and it's not even a knock on the reporter. It's just what they're asked to do,
Yeah.
yeah,
right?
It's
So
the
that's why you
nature.
see like a local affiliate, right? And people always tell me this. They're like, man, so and so interviewed me for like 35 minutes, and there's only 10 seconds of what I said.
Mhm.
right,
I was like, well, I mean, that's the nature of that beast in those realms, right? It's
yeah,
just like, what can we put on air? And so I think for me, I think I actually have more time than it may sound like. So I have time to let things breathe. But also, like with us, they want, or if I'm doing a story, like for instance, what was the recent story that I did? Well, I did a story on the whole CCR thing, right? With Mayor Jones, and I interviewed her, Interviewed Marina Gavito, who's District 7. No, yeah, Marina Adrete Gavito. Yeah, or is it? Yeah, I always get the the name mixed up.
Like switched up.
The two names, but
Yeah.
District 7 Councilwoman Marina, right? And so she so I interviewed her, right? Because her and two other council people, Terry and Mark White, wrote a letter about the process and how they feel like it should, they need to have a special session about it. So I interviewed them too. Then I interviewed, an expert from UTSA about it, right? So they always want an expert who's like not one way or another, right?
Who's unbiased.
Yeah, who's unbiased, who can really either inject their expertise or just give us data, right? And so we're asked to do more than a lot of other folks are, and even that too. Like if a story's not good, they're gonna kill it. Like they're like, this isn't up to our standards. Go get somebody else for this story that can, complete this story, or we're just gonna kill it and you need to move on. And I mean that's been us since 2020 because I got hired December 2019, and so I think that's been it's been challenging because also too we have to make a story statewide, or not make a story statewide. It has to be a statewide story, right? And so like for instance, I did a story last year on cyclists who had been fighting for just better roads, right? More bike lanes. The city basically just said that they're going to do an investment, or they voted on that they're going to do this investment, and they're using El Paso as a blueprint. So as soon as I heard that in their presentation, I'm like, "There's my statewide news peg, right?"
Right. You're like, yes.
and ended up being a really great story. I interviewed a cyclist, and then that turned into because we're statewide. I have a coworker in El Paso. I was like, "Hey, can you interview this guy? He's the director of like not public transportation, but like just like streets,
pedestrians.
yeah, pedestrian stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know what this guy looked like. I just found his email. My coworker sends me the footage that he shot in the interview because I interviewed the guy through FaceTime, and I just had my coworker film him with the camera. And I saw the B-roll. This guy's disabled. He's in a wheelchair. I was like, oh wow, like what better person to know how bad streets are and sidewalks are than him,
right?
And so the story was even so much better with that guy because one, he's an expert, right? And two, and I didn't mention his disability. I mean, you just visually saw it, right? And there's some things that you just show, you don't have to tell, right? And that's the art of TV news versus print, where you have to
describe everything.
You got to describe everything, right? For me, I could play off a video and just kind of show you something and not even, it's right there for you to see.
Right.
I don't need to over-explain something because then it just takes away from the moment, right? And so, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just really love telling these stories, but having to have that expert and having to be a complete story, I love it because it challenges me to go above and beyond for my stories. And if it's not the best, for me, it's always the best story that I could do in the moment, considering the circumstances. Because in a perfect world, everyone's gonna respond to your emails and your phone calls.
That doesn't happen.
It never works that way. But it's a lot of stories.
Yeah.
For the quality that they want.
Yeah.
In that sense, because they could easily be like, just go get us an MOS, man on the street. Hey, go get us this. Put it on air.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a different standard where I'm at, and I love it.
So who's doing the story on you?
Ooh.
I don't know.
We are.
Right here.
Right here. Here's the story, man of the hour.
Yeah. It's funny too because my best friend Albert, he's always like, "When are you gonna write the book?"
Yeah.
The memoir.
Yeah,
you should.
He's, I'll write the book, dude. He's like, I'll sell a painting to help fund it, bro. He's like, I don't care. He's like, you need to do the book.
There you go.
And it's there. I mean, I have stuff written out, like just different things. But so much has happened the last 6 years.
Yeah.
Like getting my big boy job, moving out by myself, and COVID happening.
Yeah.
3 months later, and spent my 25th birthday by myself.
Aww.
Literally, like the shutdown was a week before my birthday, and I was like,
that's crazy. Yeah.
So, life's been crazy the last 6 years, but
sounds like a memoir to me.
right?
It does.
Right. Like, oh, back in 2019, this young strapping lad.
Yeah. No, well, you have quite an amazing story. Just your journey from your childhood into what your role now, and the way that you kind of act as a mirror for your community.
Right.
I think is worth celebrating, worth talking about. So thank you for coming on here and sharing that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
No,
What
I
do you-
appreciate it.
What do you think your legacy will be when you're gone?
Ooh, damn. Damn, that's a good question. I always ask people that. And for the amount of times I've asked people that, I really should have come up with my own answer if I've ever asked that.
You're on the other side of the camera now.
I know.
That's right.
Damn it.
Mhm.
And it's okay.
I don't know. I think it's just someone who was. I think what I want people, or my legacy to be, is this is someone who was dealt a shitty hand, flipped it
Yeah.
to something good, and used that good to amplify the voices of others.
Yeah.
I think that's what I want it to be ultimately. Not even like, oh, he won this award, he did that. But it was just like, because I do career day all the time. I speak to a lot of young college journalists. And the little, that was cute. For me, I always tell them, I'm like, hey, like, I'm nothing special. Like, because there's a lot of younger reporters that look up to me, and
Of course.
they really love because I'm still very young myself. I'm only 30, right? And so
You're a baby. You're just a baby.
Your knees still work.
And so I always tell them, I was like, I'm nothing special. Like I just made the right decisions, found the right mentors, worked really hard, and then learned how to work smart. Because
Right.
you can work hard and hard and hard, and sometimes it just gets you nowhere. And then you meet that older person that's just, hey, here's an easier way to do this.
Sure.
You know? And I'm always thankful for the elders, because, and
Yeah.
I'm going to be an elder at some point. Well, if I get that opportunity, right?
You will.
I hope so.
You
'cause
will. Yeah.
Scary seeing all
You're going to be a cute little old man.
Oh, yeah.
You're
Well, I already
be-
know what I'm going to look like. My dad, he's 70. My dad's 71. I'm only 30.
Yeah.
He's a viejito.
Yeah, viejito.
But, man, he looks good. Still has his hair. So I'm like, fuck
Yeah.
All right, shout out to Arredondo jeans.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that'll be my legacy, hopefully. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah. I love it.
Mm-hmm. We'll see how time unfolds.
We shall.
All right.
I
But in
think-
the meantime,
Yes.
are you ready for some rapid fire
Ooh,
questions?
yes.
Oh, damn. Let's go.
Speed round.
Speed round.
Here you go.
I'm ready. Hey.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
There we go.
Fix it.
And we're back.
And
Mine,
we're
mine isn't, but that's fine. I'm not important here.
Yes, you are.
All right. What's one photo or video you are most proud of, and why?
Photo. I'm all right. So the photo, I would say, of me and Hispanic Elvis.
Oh, yes.
Or no, not even the one of me of him. There's one I took of him. He's on Castroville in Guadalupe, where it meets on 19th Street. Ray's drive-in sign is above his head, over his shoulder. 19th Street's above his head. And to me, that's the most West Side photo you could ever see.
That's cool. That's
That's legit.
awesome. All right. Who's someone you'd love to interview or photograph one day? They can be alive or deceased.
Ooh, I mean, if he were still alive, Eddie Guerrero.
Mm.
But I can not even settle, because I love him to death, is Rey Mysterio.
Okay.
Just because, he has all the cool tattoos. His outfits are always, like, super dope and loud.
Yeah.
So definitely him.
That'd be awesome.
Yes.
You were asking about our cameras earlier. What is your go-to camera or gear that you absolutely swear by?
I would say your phone. I mean, honestly, like, because there's times you're not going to have your camera, and
Right.
your phone's going to be there. I did get a new camera. It's a Canon EOS R6 Mark II.
Mm.
Finally, a camera that can record past 30 minutes.
Yeah. Yes.
Which is like,
I'm on the hunt.
We love that.
His DSLRs are just 29, 59 seconds.
And
Yeah.
cut.
that's it.
Yeah, cut.
Yep.
So I'm really like that. But to me, it's your phone. Like, I mean, I won an Emmy with my phone. You know, it's crazy to think about. But yeah, the phone.
Say that one more time.
Won an Emmy with my phone. Tell your tia.
Tell your tia. Oh my goodness.
I love that.
You keep going.
Okay.
I'm still
All
over there.
right. If you could tell the world one story tomorrow, what would it be?
What's the length of the story?
Don't matter.
I would say just how resilient people from San Antonio are.
Mm.
I think that's a story that people, like everywhere I go and I tell people from San Antonio, oh man, I know someone from there, or man, I like that.
Yeah.
We love San Antonio. We love visiting there, and it's really cool. And I explain to them just the history of our city, right? People just think the Alamo, and
Sure.
I'm like, no, like it runs deeper than that. But also too, I mean, the last century, we have so many Chicanos, Chicanas that have fought for us and blazed the trail for us. So it would be like the story of San Antonio, but like the real story of our gente.
Yeah, the people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that you're all about the people.
Yeah.
That's one of the great things about your stories.
We love the people, man.
We do love the people.
I don't know about the people,
The people.
but I do love la gente.
La gente, there you go. La gente.
We the
exact.
people sometimes fucked up.
For sure.
Facts. I love it. All right. Well, thank you for being here and
Oh, thank you
telling
for
your
having me.
story. Yeah. And your vulnerability and giving back to your community and everything that you do for San Antonio and the people of San Antonio. And it's really awesome what you do. So,
Yeah, hopefully I get to do it until they put me in the dirt.
yeah. Yes,
Well,
you will.
If people want to find out more about you, what you're doing, follow you, etc., where can they do that?
You could follow me at Sports Guy Jose on Twitter, Instagram.
You're still on Twitter.
Yeah, I just have a big audience there, so it's just
Yeah.
like I gotta.
That makes sense.
It's crazy the amount of people that are still on there too.
Yeah.
I finally started YouTube, so your tia's favorite
Okay.
Okay.
YouTube.
I love it.
Also too, catch me at Chifladas doing karaoke on Sundays.
Hey.
Yes.
I will take you up on that.
It's the place to be on a Sunday night.
Yeah. And where can people find your stories?
Spectrum News, the website, or just go to my Instagram. I post the
Mhm.
stories on there. I'm starting to do this thing where I'm gonna start posting like just sound bites that didn't make the interview, the story,
Nice.
just as like
Yes.
like a little tease, a nugget for people to see. Yeah, I've just been doing the same thing as far as social media goes for a couple years now. I need to change it up because social media is just hard to keep up with.
It can be.
And I hate
It can
but
be. It's a
I mean,
full-time job.
It's there. It's an avenue that's led me to great stories. So I can't hate it too much, you know.
No, I get it. It's a love-hate relationship.
So much hate.
I know, man. I put a story up, and people think their comments are just like important. And,
Yes, they do.
like I did a story on people's food stamps getting stolen
Uh-huh.
by scammers in
Mhm.
California, New York, stealing people's Lone Star food stamps. And some lady just posted this ugly comment, and I was like, so I deleted her comment. I unfriended her. I was like, dude, like really, like
Right.
you saw this story, and this is what you're gonna say.
That's what you decided to
Mhm.
say?
like go touch some grass, viejita.
Right. I'm like, thanks for the views.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Right. Thanks for helping the algorithm out. I guess.
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. And thanks for watching, everybody. And if you want to find Jose, follow all his socials.
You know
follow
what to
his
do.
You know what to do. And stay tuned because we have a new episode every Wednesday here at Gemini's Productions. This has been Candid and Curious. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.
Stay
Bye.
Stay brown.